when them come for disrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can sense when they come,
Yeah.
when they have come. Well, maybe not they have come
That
to
they have
disrupt,
come,
but something
Something
upon them
upon
has come
them.
to disrupt the flow. It has.
Yo, yo, yo. We're glad to have you guys in this space. We are your hosts.
Mandy.
Candace.
I'm Brandon. Thank you guys all for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. Videos out there on a daily basis. We do genuinely appreciate the love and support from the bottom of our hearts.
Feliz Navidad.
Yes, we love you guys pushing ourselves to the limit to give you guys content that you don't share with your friends.
The verse of the day.
Verse of the day.
Who has the verse of the day?
The verse of the day is taken from Proverbs 19, verse 17. Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward them for what they have done. We are not even 2 minutes in,
And him start, yeah.
and you've already started.
Regular thing.
What time is it?
It is,
It's 8:15.
yeah,
It's a 8:15.
Exactly.
yeah.
On a
I think my yawns are
cool
warranted.
Tuesday evening.
It's a weekday, guys. So forgive us for a little,
We see
tired. A little lackluster.
that the heart is willing.
Yeah,
The body tired.
yeah, man.
It's been a long week and it's only Tuesday. It's been a long year, as a matter of fact.
And it's
only
just February.
To be honest. Supposed to be the shortest month of the year, and it's kind of feeling like it's
taking its
dating.
time.
Yeah. But that's crazy because we're about to go into March, and by the time you guys will be seeing it, we would be 2 days in, 3 days in. March is starting in
The first
a couple of days on Saturday.
Yeah.
And the Lent season period begins the following Wednesday, which is the 5th. Lent
Ash
is...
Wednesday.
Huh?
Ash Wednesday on the 5th?
Ash
Yeah.
Wednesday,
Ash
yeah.
Wednesday on the 5th, yeah.
So, the Lent runs from Ash Wednesday to Good Friday.
Yeah.
40 days
40 days and 40 nights.
in the wilderness.
Yes. So, like how we fasted in January, for all who fasted in January,
The Daniel
the
fast.
Daniel fast, or whatever fast your church went on. I heard that some churches, they just fast in January. That's a general thing.
Yeah, because my mom's church does it too in Florida. They
Okay.
use January as their
Yeah.
month. I guess because it's like a season of new beginnings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to take
Prepare.
that first big initiative. I think it's smart actually to want to do it at that period in time.
You reach all of the people
Because-
doing New Year's
Yeah.
resolutions and just
It's like they've
everybody's
maxed out
ready.
everything.
Yeah.
And in January, everybody between December to January, everybody has this
Everybody's a
spark
superhero.
and energy,
Yeah.
And have all of the time.
Wanting
wanting
my
to
Yeah.
to change their life and do everything. And by the time
By the time the next week of January come, they gone back to what
everybody's
it was.
going back,
Yeah.
or
Yes, I think they use January as like most churches. If they're not doing Daniel fast, they just fast.
they're just fasting in
In
general.
Yeah, they just fast in general. They kind of, as I said, they
It's a,
prepare
a renewing, a recommitting
yeah of the year. You know.
yeah.
The year ahead.
Sometimes when I think about it, I see you're seeing that,
Fasting.
Yeah, cause
Fasting in general or fasting in January?
well, fasting in general, but fasting in January, cause like you're preparing yourself, and if you were there in the sessions, persons are saying what the Lord has done for them, and like how they gonna maintain.
Yeah.
And then like we're in February, and I don't want to maintain.
I mean, that's the honest truth.
Yeah.
You know, You are sometimes, what I realize with fasting, especially when you're sharing with others,
Yeah.
you tend to get motivated by hearing other
Yeah.
people. And it falls short when you're by yourself. Because,
You feel like are
You-
you alone in the
yeah,
dark
in a-
room and you're not gonna make it.
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
that's the thing about fasting, it's something that is continuous. You don't have to
Yeah.
decide, say, oh, we just do this one period and stop.
We should
People fast. People
as-
fast for the most minuscule.
Yeah, for
Thing.
various different things and at
Yeah.
various different times.
You
but
you
I
don't
don't
need
think
for
fa-
you not to be something big.
But I don't think fasting should be like like how they're praying fasting at church.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday them come in, them do them thing. Because fasting should be just like how we pray and read our Bible.
Mm.
So it
Yeah.
should be, but we treat it as I want a job, let me fast and pray.
Yeah, me
about
fast
it.
Yeah,
and pray
it's just
about
like
it.
You know?
it's something big is happening.
Yeah.
Let's-
so-
Lord,
Let's
you,
lock in.
it's like you're telling Lord, you need to lock in because we're about to fast.
Yeah.
Do you see how?
Yeah.
Do you see how important this is? I'm about to fast.
yeah, but fasting should be just
It
like
should be
prayer
regular.
and like reading a Bible. It should
Yeah.
be because I know at our church they for fast well, it's encouraged
To fast every Wednesday.
every Wednesday with the prayer and fasting.
And
people them.
every Wednesday and every first Sunday,
And
Communion
Sunday.
Sunday,
Communion Sunday.
you're supposed to fast as well.
And
And then
second Sunday.
second Sunday
Second
for
Sunday
you.
for us,
But right,
the
you know,
youth.
if you really think about it, every Sunday you're supposed to fast. You know, 'cause
Yeah.
Based on if you're a musician or you're a singer, you should
Yeah.
No, really.
get
Yeah.
a place where at any point.
Yeah, man shall not live by bread alone.
Yeah.
So you come in and you get the word. You're filled with the word.
I think fasting became easy for me in the mornings because I'm
Mm.
generally not a breakfast eater.
Okay.
So it wasn't hard for me to do it in the mornings. So every time I'm fasting, it's always in the mornings because my body is already used to
Used to not eating at that time.
not eating
Yeah.
at that time.
Mm.
And then, in the afternoon or the evening,
Yeah.
we get it cracking.
I think for me, like you said, fasting in the morning isn't an issue because you don't really eat at that time, or my appetite really kicks up in the afternoon.
Same.
But I think for me, in my experience, it's more of a sacrifice for me to fast in the evening. Because that's
when
it. Not only is that when I'm usually hungry, but that's when I have free time. And that now puts me in a position where I really have to
Make the
intentionally
sacrifice.
choose that I am going to be fasting, and while I'm fasting, I'm reading the Bible and I'm praying.
Yeah.
When I really do have the time to do a myriad of other things that I could get into. So in the evening for me that's when it's more of a real sacrifice for me to say like, yo, you need to lock in, bro. You can go do this, you want go do this, it's right there for you to do, but this, hey, you said to yourself and you said to the Lord that you're gonna fast, it's time to lock in.
I think
Yeah.
for me I eat right around the clock. So it's whenever I
it's
decide.
whenever you
Yeah.
decide.
Whenever if I say it's 12 to 4, it's 12 to 4.
Yeah.
And we'll go through the trenches. By the time 3:00, 3:30, I'm already looking at the bullet from a distance away, and I'm like, I'm going to have you. You
Listen.
can't, yeah. So
And then even that too. You can fast a meal, time periods, or days. Like they're fasting. I feel like fasting sometimes can be as fluid as prayer. It doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be short. It does sometimes
but so,
all you can do is say a quick prayer and continue on. Sometimes you do have the available time to do a long intentional prayer. I feel like fasting can be a little bit fluid as well, in which you can choose times during the day when you're fasting, or you can choose specific meals when you're fasting, or you can choose specific day periods in which you're fasting. So it's just like you can choose every Wednesday I'm fasting, every Sunday I'm fasting, or from this Monday to this Sunday back, I'm fasting, and you have 21, and you have 40 days, and you have 7 days. You can choose and deciding enough yourself when you want to personally fast.
Yeah, yeah, you can, yeah.
And what's your fasting?
Yeah, and what you're fasting
because
as
it
what
well.
you're
doesn't
fasting for is
it
very
doesn't have
important.
to be food. I know we tend to think that it's always food.
Food, yeah.
We had probably spoken about this a few episodes back, but we're segueing into what we're going to talk about eventually. But it's really what takes you away or takes up most of your time that should be spent with God.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of persons will fast stuff like social media,
Yeah. The
like
phone.
their phones, streaming services, a particular activity.
Yeah.
At
Ooh.
this point,
Have you ever fasted a person?
Fasted a person.
yeah,
Yeah. You
yeah,
have?
yeah.
Fasting a person or a relationship? I feel I don't hear many people fasting that. I
don't
personally haven't.
I haven't.
But
All
thinking
I
about
can
it, I can
say-
understand why you would and why you could.
All I can say is that when you do it, just be mentally prepared for like the third week.
The third, if you're going that long.
Yeah, no, like so. Yeah, if you're going that long, like for a month, be prepared for the third week.
What happens in the
Cause you
third week?
huh?
What happens in the third week?
So if you're fasting with your partner, cause like me and my girl, we do it in January. You see me? And the first week was fine. Blow through, we're like, yeah man, this soft, brother. You see, when the second week came, I was wondering if I could run from where I was to her, like at my
Scream.
top speed. You see me?
Mm.
And locate her.
Mm.
You see me? Sniff her toe presence in the air like a dog.
Jeez.
You see the third week, crocus. by the third week,
That brother's starving. Starving.
It's,
Oh,
it's the same thing like you're starving food,
he
man.
needs
By
some
time
milk.
the first, second week is fine. The third week, that's when your body is like, yo, cause it's like your mind is already locked in, but your body is like, hey, we're missing. Something's missing. Please find it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really, that's.
It's the same way across the board for everything. I'm telling you. By the time, anytime you're fasting, the third to last day is normally your hardest day.
The withdrawals you get
Yeah.
when you no longer speak to someone that you
speak
would
to
have
every day.
spoken with, someone that would have become an integral part of your daily routine. When shift up happen and change up happen and you are no longer speaking to that person for whatever reason, if it's fasting,
Yeah.
like Brandon say, are you and the person just no longer deal, that the days after that happens, it feels as if it's like an outer body experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I remember like say my breakup would have happened Tuesday night. I'm looking at my phone like, why isn't there a message coming in?
Yeah.
I wake up the next morning and I'm like,
Hello?
the phone, is something wrong with the phone?
Scream.
You find yourself looking at the phone
More often than you should.
very often,
Yeah.
looking and say, your ex,
Yeah.
because you're so used to seeing message come in, or at a certain time when you should be expecting a call, you're like,
Yeah.
cheese and peas, and you're like, nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you just there, I look, and the urge to take up your phone because you're so used to doing things. The urge to take up your phone and text, and then you remember, oh wait,
You
that's
wanna
not
do-
I don't say go work anymore,
Yeah.
and you go through that cycle until eventually you're like, all right, so this is
Listen.
reality.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to
Yeah.
Yeah, it done.
just start moving
Yeah.
forward.
Like I remember even sometimes, I don't know if anybody else does this, but when technology doesn't want to work, I pretend as if I don't care. And then it works. So
Yeah.
like if the internet is buffering and the video is not playing, I'm just like, oh, all right, fine, I'm not.
Nah,
And
no, I
then
just
it
look away
starts.
and it just starts
Yeah,
working.
just start
Listen,
look
that's
away.
what I'm saying.
Or I find something else to do and say.
Yeah.
That's what
You
I'm
just rest on the
saying,
phone and say,
man.
all right, let me just,
Yeah, so I
And
would
then-
pretend like, oh, I'd walk away from the phone and circle the phone and circle the phone, and then I come back and there's nothing
And
there.
there's nothing. Every ping will come in on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You broke your neck for look and you said, Channel Star. That's not what I wanted to see.
I feel
That's
like
not who I wanted to hear from.
yeah, it kind of shines a light or really lets you see how obsessed you were.
or how much
I wouldn't say- I
you're.
wouldn't- I wouldn't
Is
say-
it would it be obsession though,
I
or
wouldn't be
it just
say
your
obsessed.
your
It's what you're
daily
used to.
routine,
Yeah,
right?
it's
It's
what
your
you're-
daily routine.
how much
Time
Yeah.
it took
Yeah.
up as a part of your daily routine, and then you now have to find your way back to remembering who you were without that person, who you were
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
that thing,
Yep.
because then you realize how much they would have played an important role in your lifestyle,
Yeah.
and you can find
Mhm.
out how much they took up time away
Yeah.
from God, or it took up time away from God.
Yeah.
And that's where you have to draw back to that secret place where it's just you and the Lord, and maintain that from there
Yeah.
onwards.
Which-
Because
yeah.
losing it back, I go feel like the worst thing ever. It's nothing like building up a relationship with God, and then something steers you, or something else catches your attention,
Mhm.
and you lose back all of that
Progress.
that momentum that you would have gained,
Yeah.
and you're back, because it does feel like going back to square one.
What did Gary say? Move with the momentum.
Yeah.
Gary did say move with the momentum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
move with the momentum.
Yeah, move with the momentum.
Mm.
Yeah, it's especially when I know is that when you're fasting, when you're done fast, if you fast like if you went like the Daniel fast or you went like a water fast or whatever, you should like slowly progress into like eating the foods that you were used to eating, because your stomach, it went through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So eating fried chicken after like a water fast, you might die.
It
Yeah.
feels weird. You have to
Yeah.
do like
Your
slowly.
belly don't used to that
Did you
anymore.
guys learn, or do you guys learn anything about yourselves, or did anything change for you after fasting?
Anything change?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that changed, I think, was obviously my walk with the Lord, but like, I think it was my appreciation for no food.
Is it?
Yeah, even though I love eating food, when you're there and like there's no food, you realize that when you're bored, you eat food. When you're tired, you eat
Okay.
food.
Okay.
Okay.
You're sad, you eat food. You're happy,
Yes,
you eat food.
eating as a
Yeah, so
As a pastime.
Yeah, that's technical.
as a hobby. It's a hobby.
That's
What do you like
technical-
to do in your
that's-
spare time? Eat.
That's technically that's what I like to. That's my joy, isn't it? So like, not being able to do that. I remember being on like a water fast and drinking water repulsed me. Yeah, I remember drinking. I was like, I could not finish that water. Yeah. So I think I learned to kind of appreciate not having food, because it helps you to kind of lock in. Because food is a yeah. Food really affects your mood and obviously it affects how your body does what it needs to do.
It
But
does.
genuinely,
Yeah.
it affects you a lot. So yeah, I think that was it. That's what I learned.
I think from this year's Daniel fast, like my prayers, how I pray, changed like completely. Like I was like a good priest before, but now, like boss me on a big prayer, just ask me for prayer, and it just feels like, or it sounds to me like Cadian.
Oh.
And I remember the first time it happened,
Okay.
and I remember looking in the mirror and I was like,
You reach.
yeah, anger that. Yeah, anger that. And then I said to myself, I was like, maybe because, I just threw me to the fast, but the fast ended and it didn't stop. Like each one, and that was never my intention going into the fast, because I was always okay with the way how I prayed, because I knew, all right, it's true and it's from the heart, and from my lips to God's ears, and theme will be done. Amen. Right? So it was never a point of me wanting to show off.
Yeah.
I never even had intended for that to happen. That was not on my mind going into this fast. I literally, when I was writing down what I wanted to basically come out of this, I didn't even write what I wanted to come. I just wrote down all the things that I was putting before God and placing in His hands.
Yeah.
And the first thing was my life and who I was and my spiritual walk and my journey as a Christian. And then everything else came afterwards. And there was no part of it that I include, oh, make me a prayer warrior or something like that. I don't know if I'm a prayer warrior. Yeah, right.
Hey.
So I was like, I don't know if that's my thing. I didn't write that down. But I was really just like, just write down the stuff where I really wanted to give to God this year. And then that was like one of the bonus. And like, no, I was like, I remember doing it randomly one day at work when I had a little free time. I was like, still got it. Yeah. I was like, it's not leaving. It's not leaving.
Still got it.
Still got it. Yeah.
I think for me, it was a matter of, and it took me by surprise. It's a matter of acknowledging the sin and not rebuking the sinner, in a sense. Where
You basically have a filter.
you
have a filter now.
it's just like I'm seeing it, and I remember something had happened and somebody got me real upset. Or it's like I was in the middle of the fast and something occurred and it was getting me upset. And in my spirit, it just went, get thee behind me, Satan. You're not going to disrupt what God has set before me because you want me to go off in anger and sin. And in my head, I'm just like, hello? Because before, it just like I'd have taken that to heart. I'd be real upset. I'd be real stuffy and everything. But it's just like, no, it's not.
You're not giving it time to even breathe.
I'm not giving it time to breathe.
Yeah.
It's a matter of, I'm understanding now that when you're in the midst, especially when you're in the midst of fasting and stuff like that, attacks will come. And it's for you to realize that, hey, you're doing something that the enemy does not like. Don't let him distract you right now because something is happening that you need to stay focused on.
Yo, in the midst of chaos is the best time to start using the word and start working or tapping into, as we always say, the supernatural, because attacks really do come in the moment of fasting. I remember last month, nobody could have prepared me for a random Tuesday. Some man a come on me and tell me say my uncle had a little episode, and I remember even in the midst of me bawling, all I was doing was praying in that moment. There wasn't anything else I could do because I was so distraught. And even while I was distraught, I knew in my head that never did I go reach him. And like I just knew that. But you know, the human part of you just weak. And you succumb to the pressure and the being overwhelmed. But I still knew in that moment that I just needed to tap in with God and say, yo, something not going right here, so. But me assure you say, I know what to do. But I just need little support.
Support. Give me a support.
Right? And it's like, lift me up, please. Lift me up, please.
Sometimes you just need a good little ball out, you know. A good little ball out, forget it off of your chest.
I remember, especially when fasting, I remember so there's this prayer, right? So I did the prayer where it's like, Lord, I want to get closer. Now, when you pray that prayer, just a warning.
Yeah.
You pray that prayer, you pray to go closer.
You just look at
go
ear.
happen.
the
spiritual
spiritual.
warfare is going it's gonna turn up. You see
Just
me?
start your ding
I
ding.
remember when we were at
Boxing
church,
time.
and I remember when we were at church, and sometimes I would, you're at church, and you would see like certain persons that they'll clock what's happening in atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I never was able to do that until sometime last year into like this year. And I never forget one time I was up there playing. And I also remember being there. And sometimes I didn't even know what's going on. But I just feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it inside, and I'm like, yo, brother, something's happening. I still know what's gonna happen. And then boom, I see it happen. Like it be something happening with like praise and worship. I just see Shantae singing, and I'm like, I say I don't know what to describe, but I can just be like, yo, somebody feel heavy today. Is me like I can pick up on those things, and it's not like I'm looking for it either.
Yeah.
I just be up there playing. I just be in the midst. I just be like,
and it just
Yeah.
drop in your
yeah,
spirit.
something. So I can like pick up. So it's when fasting, getting closer with the Lord, He shows you certain things, how to pick up on certain things, and like how to move accordingly with them. Yeah, I remember being in some service, man, and just being up there. I just look around. I'm like, hey, one time, alright. So sometimes you ever have this thing where somebody, you don't have to like tell me. You could tell me about somebody, and I can see somebody walk in, and I can be like, I brother that you talk about, and I just know.
Yeah, sometimes some persons, when you're really in tune with what's going on around you, sometimes you can feel and sense when persons are heavy, or when they are
Come on, the spirit
like you say, it's hard to describe, but you can
it's hard.
sense when them come for disrupt.
Yeah.
You can sense when they come, when
Yeah.
they have come. Well, maybe not they have come
Not
to
they have
disrupt,
come, but, like,
but something
Something
upon them
upon
has come
them,
to disrupt the flow. It
Yeah.
has. It is like it stop up the drain, and it can't.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
you
it
can't
can't
flow.
uncut it,
Yeah.
There's been times I've been up there and praise and worship just feel hard. Like everybody are sing, everybody are playing, and like it feel like it not gonna know it. And there's other times when the praise and worship is easy, and there's other times not really calling out Shantae, but like sometimes Shantae just up there, and it's like she don't know what to do, but sing. And like I'll look at her, or I'll look at Mandy, or I'll look at Candace, and I can just look at, or Kerry. I just look at them and say, brother, I can feel whatever is going on over there. But I just don't understand what.
Yes.
The
What it is.
heaviness.
Yeah, sometimes
You
I,
can feel the
I
heaviness.
sense it
Yeah.
from persons in the congregation.
Yeah, you can.
And you can see, some people you can see it
Yeah.
on. You can
Yeah.
see it on, like when them walk in,
Yeah.
you can know the smile is not 100% there because there's something on their shoulders.
Yeah.
And it hinders them from worshiping. And that's really the goal of the enemy. His goal is to have you so caught up in whatever it is that is burdening you that you do not remember that you should be praising God through it all.
Yeah.
And you come to church, and the time that the praise and worship is there, you're trying to feel it, you're wanting to feel it,
But too much are going.
but there's too
Yeah.
much going on
Too much
in
are
your
going
head, in your
there,
heart,
yeah.
in your spirit, and you end up wasting your time coming to church
You
because
miss it.
there's nothing accomplished. Mind you, your worship should not be here. It shouldn't start when you come to church, right? But you know, when you are surrounded by your brethren and everybody is in one accord giving praise to the Lord, it fuels the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But you yourself is each man bring them praise come, right?
Yeah.
You have to bring it.
And
I wonder if persons are kind of taught how to do that though.
Bring your praise.
Bring your praise.
Yeah, I wonder if person because when I was, as I said, when I was fasting, like I learned how to worship. Cause worship is a what am I coming? worship, worship is described to be a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
You must worship me in spirit and in truth. While praise is the easiest part. Praise is like me telling Candace, you did a great job today.
Yeah.
Right? But worship is like it's actively making yourself decrease and the Lord can increase. So I wonder if persons if they know how to do that. Because I really wonder if they know how. Because, sometimes the praise and worship can feel heavy, but I'm wondering if they know how.
And
If they know how to come with their prayer. Because you can read the Bible and see like how David and them did their thing. But do they know how and like what to do and how to maneuver that space? Because I have to research it myself, like how this actually supposed to go.
Because sometimes even when praise and worship is happening and you feel the heaviness, or sometimes you might feel as if it not go on nice like it usually go on nice.
Yeah.
And it's just like whether it go on nice or not, you are supposed to be singing your support. It's not about what you're hearing. It's about you offering your sacrifice of praise unto the Lord. It's about you lifting up your praise to the Lord. So whether it go on nice or whether it feel nice, that don't matter. It's about you doing your duty to the Lord, and you come to a point where you start to enjoy it. When you start to really like it, and when you can't stop yourself. Every Sunday when Klinsman is here, I don't know if you've ever listen.
Perfect. He was in my mind when I was talking. I was literally about to talk about
when
him.
I tell you, it don't matter what is going on. It don't matter whether you feel. Klinsman don't have a mic. Klinsman never yet have a mic.
Loud.
Yeah, man. He is lifting his praise unto the Lord, whether I'm in tune or out of tune, whether I'm the pan beat or off a beat, and I'm always on beat. Don't do that, right? He is always lifting his praise, and even Carty as well. You don't have to ask Carty to give a shout of hallelujah.
That's true.
You don't have to ask him to give a shout.
One thing that I realized with Klinsman is the perfect example of leaving it all at the altar.
Yeah, man.
Every morning he comes to church, whether him early or him late, first thing he's doing is coming to the altar.
I think him and Dalton too.
Yeah.
Dalton did too.
First thing he's doing is coming to the altar. You have some people that do their thing before them come church.
Or even in the benches when they come and sit down.
When them come. First thing Klinsman do when them come is come to the altar. Sometimes you see people usually do things growing up and you never understand it.
Yeah.
Doing praise and worship. I understand it now. Every Sunday me a ball. My ball for no reason. bally, bad. But when you do understand what you are really giving God thanks for, you can't help but ball sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid for ball. Any little thing trigger me and me start ball.
I think even finish. I don't want to cut it.
Yeah, go on.
I remember just like how you said before, you never they a ball, but now you're a ball now. I remember I never forget one time when you're up there as I praise and worship as musicians. I remember Dalton came to me and said, "You guys need to make sure you're on the clean before you go up there." And before me, she said, "What Dalton know, man? Dalton don't listen to white clothes. I fling tambourine." You see me? And I remember in fasting, I remember learning that praise and worship is like the first step to some people, like deliverance.
Yeah.
But the only way it can be is if the team is one accord.
Yeah.
So I remember when I started doing that, and I remember when I started like taking my time every time, whenever it's rehearsal, whenever is NYI, whenever is praise and worship, or even if I'm going somewhere to play, I make sure it's a clean from a go up there, because I understand that So I learned that in order for people to get deliverance, the deliverer
Yeah, you
needs
have to
you
clean.
need to love the person that you're delivering. And
Yeah.
if you're loving them, you need to make sure that you are clean.
Yeah.
So what you're offering to the Lord can impact the rest. And
Yeah.
once I learned that, I realized how important it is. And I understand the importance of like, make sure say your heart is in line with the Lord. Because
Yeah.
through fasting, I kind of learned that that's actually mighty important.
Yeah,
Because if you're doing all of this and you're not right, God will lick you down and find somebody else.
Listen,
And
I
make you
think
look like a fool.
I think they said even back in the day when they had the priests going into the tabernacle and going into
The holy place.
into the holy place, they used to
Tie
tie a string onto him foot.
I think a bell too.
Yeah, and a bell.
Mm-hmm.
So that if him make the mistake and go in there and think say God now see that and God flatten out brother right there, so you have to dry him out. It doesn't matter who you are or how small you might think the sin is. You have to clean yourself. Because God said if we regard iniquity in our hearts, He won't hear from us. Right? And we have to consecrate ourselves. Because even Joshua said it to the Israelites when they're about to cross over the Jordan into the land of Canaan. So you have to consecrate yourself because the Lord is about to do something. You don't want that something to pass you when you were responsible for consecrating yourself, for setting yourself apart, which is what you would do during fasting and prayer. Right? It's not just fasting. It's fasting and the prayer and the Bible reading. It's not just an absence of something that you liked. It's an absence to fill with God's presence. See what I did there? Bars. Right?
Rhyme.
So you can't, because even in the word it says that if you have cast out a demon and you don't put God into that place, He'll bring back 7 more stronger than him and come back into the room. You get me? So you can't, it's not just an absence of the things that you loved or an absence of the things that your flesh desired. Fasting, that's not what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be a time in which you set yourself apart from those things and you fill yourself with the Lord during that season. That's what it's supposed to be. And in order to maintain that position, you have to fast. You have to do it. You have to set that time apart. And it's an ongoing thing.
You have to constantly be in that place. I don't know, man. I think after fasting, it's like I just see things differently, and it's like I don't want to go back to what I was before.
Yeah.
Because I realized that bystander life is just not for me.
Yeah.
Just not for me. So
when the scales have been moved from your eyes, you're just like, I don't want to be blind no more. I am delivered.
Oh my God.
Man, the fasting it definitely helps. But guys,
it's Lent season. Are you guys giving up anything? Let us know if you're giving up anything. A lot of people like to give up, stuff that they would use a lot or consume a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I know many drinkers who give up alcohol during Lent.
Which is kind of funny because Carnival is right before Lent. And Carnival, some people take Carnival as your last hurrah before you give up everything. That's why for some people, Carnival is so indulgent.
Okay.
So it's a lots of reveling, lots of drinking, lots of partying, party back to back to back to back. Yeah, jump a street and you do the march. And then Lent, everybody just quiet down and suckle down and sit down. Yeah.
You eat your fish and
your bun and cheese.
And your bun and cheese.
Some fried fish and bun.
That's
and
a Jamaican tradition.
Bun and cheese.
Bun and cheese.
Bun and cheese and
if anybody else claim that, lie them a tell. You don't come from the black, green and gold. Don't come say your tradition that it is not yours.
Fried fish.
It is ours. I mean
bun
the fish and the bread.
Yeah, that's everybody.
That's everybody cup of tea. But
bun and
the bun and cheese is our Milo.
Reach out with 4 loaf of bun.
Oh my goodness.
Done by
The
the
And they
next
get a
day.
tasty,
tasty cheese
yeah,
and
the tin.
the tin where nobody can
Oh,
open.
Yeah.
They really should find a more effective way of storing that.
Boy,
that
tasty.
cheese.
We love the cheese, but and then make it hard.
And
for
it
we
can't open
it.
like a tuna can.
Yeah.
Or like one corned beef tin or something.
Give it a little something where we can pull back off
Yeah.
it. Then seeing us don't want to give it that.
Tasty cheese.
Real Jamaican flavor for true.
Wow.
Alright, guys. Thank you guys for watching another episode of this Square Space. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Jesus Christ, the way, the truth, and the life. Get to know him today. And if you don't know him,
You're moving mad.
thank you guys for watching this.
Grace Space.
Bye, guys.
Bye.